Here's a quick clip from this week's EastonUniversity.com live coaching session with me. If you get any use out of the clip, please give the video a like and consider subscribing to this channel. What do I want to start off talking about today? Let's talk about something that it's in your EastonUniversity.com portal. If you guys practice this, if you guys rehearse this, it's something that needs to be practiced and rehearsed. It's going to make your life so much easier, and it's going to make you so much more money. What am I talking about? Boom! There's one right there, a PRR workflow, a price reduction workflow, aka discounts. You got to lower your price. If I'm going to buy from you, I need better pricing. Anything, any derivation of a price reduction request, this is something that separates amateurs from professionals, skillful from not skillful, people that make a lot of money and have a lot of happy clients from people that don't, and their clients can't stand them. Wait a minute. If you give clients discounts, money, they don't like you? Yes, they don't like you. Let's talk about that for a second. So in terms of a price reduction request, an AKA a discount, an AKA can you lower your price? Can you take some money off of this deal? Why would giving a discount be hurtful to you, the sales rep or the company?
It's the story of the BMW for $700. That if you lower the price, then the client thinks that you can keep lowering the price further and further. You'll never be happy.
The client would never be happy. I love that one. You keep lowering the price. This is what Phil said. I think that was Phil. If you keep lowering the price, how does the client know? Whoa, we never think about this stuff. If I keep lowering the price, then they can't simultaneously read my mind. How do they know that's the lowest price? No good deed goes unpunished, right? I'll give you $1,000 off. Well, gosh, I could have got $2,000 off. That's why they end up hating you. That's why they end up not referring business your way. Why the hell would I want to refer business to Phil when Phil gives me $1,000? Because I'm afraid that I'm going to find out Phil's going to give $2,000 off to the next person, and then I'm going to look stupid. That's a great one. Here's another obvious one. When we lower our price, what happens? We make less money, right? Not good for us, not good for our families, not good for our R&D budgets, not good for keeping the lights on in the office. We deserve to make a profit. Let's flip that script the other way around. Why does lowering the price, and we kind of talked about this just now, but why does lowering the price not good for our customers?
It takes away the urgency.
Takes away the urgency. If I wait, the price will do what? Continue to come down. If I wait, maybe a better deal is coming along the corner. Also, it takes away their certainty. Just like Phil said, if the price is coming down $700 every time I talk to this person, I'm not certain this is the best deal. What does it do to the customer in terms of them perceiving our value and that they made a good decision? Does any customer, client, or organization ever really feel like, man, I made a great decision because I made that decision simply based on price, right? No, they don't. They're like, well, you know, I could have probably got something better. We could have probably stayed in a nicer hotel. Yeah, our software's not great, but it was cheap. Right? Nobody's ever proud of that decision. In the long run, those are the things that people wish they could go back and redo and stay in a nicer hotel, get better software, get a better solution, right? So I think we've established that lowering the price, it ain't good for us. It's not good for our checkbooks. It's not good for our budgets. It's not good for keeping our lights on. And it's not good for our clients. So why do we do it? Well, we do it because we want to close a deal. Right? We do it because we're not skillful. We do it because we haven't practiced our PRR workflow responses, price reduction request. If you guys have not gone into your EastonUniversity.com, make sure you're printing one of these out. Make sure you're playing around with these. We're going to talk about this right now. Make sure that you're thinking about gives and gets. Okay? Sales, your personal life, your love life, your friendships, everything you do in this world, the best stuff out there and the best way to do the stuff is a give-get, a quid pro quo. This is how you let that person know that the value is there, that they've made a great decision, that they're working with somebody that's trustworthy, honorable, and has integrity, is absolutely, I am happy to give Phil something, but Phil needs to give me something in return. Quid pro quo. Now that give, I'm hoping it's not a discount for all the reasons we just discussed. I'm a huge fan of you guys giving your prospects, your clients, your customers things, as long as they're giving you something in return, as long as you're getting something in return. So I want you guys to start thinking about gives and gets, okay? And I want you to start thinking about your responses. I would like you to have 3 just straight up responses to the price reduction request, because sometimes that's all somebody's looking for before you even offer a give, okay? And if you notice, I've printed one of these out here. It's really simple. Price reduction request number 1. Phil, unmute yourself. Ask me for 20% off.
Hey, I wouldn't mind if you can give me 20% off.
Yeah, I get it, Phil. Hey, we discussed the pricing 6 weeks ago. What's changed?
Nothing. I just think that it's too expensive, and I think I see other companies out there with a lower price. So,
perfect example. Okay, so you see what I did there? I used my PRR response, number 1, that I wrote in my box before the call. We discussed the pricing 6 weeks ago. What's changed? Notice what that did in Phil's mind. That caused Phil, now did he back away and go, oh yeah, no, I'm going to take the deal? Sometimes they do, but most of the time they do exactly what Phil said. No, nothing's changed. I still want it. I just looked at other competitors out there. They're less money, right? To which I could go down a whole different road through our EastonUniversity.com training. He just teed up a softball for me. You looked at some other competitors. Yeah, they're less money. Got it, just out of curiosity, why didn't you sign the agreement with them? Well, they don't have the warehousing RQ48 module that you guys have, and that's what we really need. Got it. Does it make sense to move forward on the deal so you can have that warehousing RQ48 module? Right? Life is a lot easier. But let me go through, okay, so Phil said, I just want a discount. Let me give Phil another price reduction request. Okay, so hey Phil, say the same thing. I'm going to say the same thing to you. Hey Phil, we discussed pricing 6 weeks ago. What's changed?
The same thing or change?
Yeah, so just, you can say the same thing. Say the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my management wants to spend less, so I think we need, in order to be able to close, we need to be able to lower the price.
Yeah, for sure. I hear you. Is there anything in the recommendation that you'd like to remove?
No. I just want to lower the price overall, but keep the same list of items and features.
Got it. PRR request number 2. And you guys don't have the courage, or you don't have the knowledge, or you haven't drilled, practiced, and rehearsed this. That's what I'm here for, is to give you the courage, the knowledge, and for you to drill, practice, and rehearse this. This is a pretty courageous thing to say. This is a brave thing to say. This is also the right thing to say. Sometimes the right thing to say and do, both in your career and your personal life, is also the more difficult thing to do. Okay, now notice price reduction request number 2. Request number 1, my response was, we discussed pricing 6 weeks ago. What's changed? Not saying it like a smart ass. Okay, we discussed pricing 6 weeks ago. What's changed? I don't know. I just need a discount. I hear you. Is there anything in the recommendation you'd like to remove? Why do I want to ask that? I want to ask that for 2 reasons. Number 1, I want Phil to know, hey, I have priced this reasonably. I have priced this accordingly. I'm not like the competition out there that overinflates my price, hoping somebody's a sucker. Based on everything that Phil told me that he needs with this solution, I scoped it accordingly, and that's what it costs. That's the first thing I want to communicate to Phil by saying, is there anything in the recommendation you'd like to remove? The other thing that I want to communicate to Phil in that is, hey, we're at a stopping point. You are getting a phenomenal deal. And I know this might not make sense to you guys right now, but when you let somebody know, hey, cool, no problem, what do you want to take out? They're in their head, they're instantaneously like, this is the best this person's going to do. Okay? To which Phil responded, nope, I just want a lower price. Now I've got my PRR response number 3. Phil, say it one more time. No, I don't want to remove anything, I just want a lower price.
I just want a lower price. I don't want to remove anything, period.
Totally understand, Phil. You know, you had estimated that this project saves you $9,300 a month in onboarding expenses that you guys are currently paying right now. Does it make sense to start now?
If you give me the price that I need, yes.
Okay.
I open the door.
Perfect. Phil, by the way, it's hard for you to keep pushing back on me, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I'm being logical, because I'm being reasonable, because I'm being rational. But I'm prepared for you to do all of that. Now
You're not fighting me back.
Correct. Yeah. Now I've got my gives and I've got my gets, okay? Because I've gone through it 3 times. Now notice you don't want to do, hey, I can give you this if you can give me this the minute somebody gives you a price reduction request. Because I want to exhaust everything with the deal scoped the way it is, right? I want to communicate to Phil that the value is here. I want to communicate to Phil that he wants to do this deal, okay? That's why I'm going to say, hey, we discussed the pricing 6 weeks ago. What's changed? Nothing's changed. I just want a discount. Is there anything you'd like to remove or take out from the recommendation? Nope, need it all, right? Got it. You know, you estimated this project saves you $9,300 a month. Does it make sense to get started now? Absolutely, it makes sense to get started now if you lower my price. Now I can offer my gives and my gets simultaneously. And I'm hoping your give, it's okay if you guys do this, but I'm hoping your give is not a discount. Because then we're still going down that road of no urgency, no value. Let's see if we can get the price lower. So that might sound something like this. Phil, say one more time. Yeah, I'm ready to move forward. I just want a lower price.
I'm definitely ready to move forward if the price is lower, yes.
Yeah, so Phil, I hear you. I'm with you. I'm the exact same way. And I do want to do something special for you guys. Now, I know we had talked about adding 10 users to the agreement. I think you had said you were going to add an additional 10 users in Q3. Is that something you'd be, if I can do something special for you right now, would you be open to adding those 10 users right now?
If it doesn't increase the price, it could be interesting, yes.
Okay, because here's what I had in mind. On the pricing, everything, it's fixed there. I've scoped it the way. You clearly don't want to take anything out. You need it. You need everything there. You want to be saving that $9,300 a month. Here's what I think I can do. Okay, if you can give me those additional 10 users right now, I can add them into the contract. I can give you the SKU transfer module. That's the SKU transfer module for the warehousing that you guys had thought about adding before at no additional cost. That's $6,340 in additional value to you that I'll add that transfer module if you guys can add the 10 additional users. Fair enough?
So I add 10 additional users and you give me the free module at no extra cost.
Correct, correct. Or we can just do everything the way it's scoped right now.
Now I feel I gained something, yes.
For sure. Okay, cool. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write it up with the additional 10 users, all right? And then I'm going to put a line item in there with that SKU transfer module. I'm going to redline the 6340 for the SKU transfer module. I'm going to initial that, so you'll be getting that for free. And then if you can initial that red line as well, and then get the contract returned back to me, is that something you can sign today?
Sounds like a deal.
Perfect. I'll have it over to you via DocuSign in about 10, give me 10 minutes just to write everything up, kind of get the blessing from my legal department. I'll have it over in Dropbox in 10 minutes. And then is this a good number for me to call you when it's in your box and I can walk you through those 2 changes?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Phil, feel like you got a good deal?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I gave you $6,000 worth of software. But here's what I didn't do. I didn't lower the cost by $6,000. And in fact, we're now adding those 10 users, whatever those cost. Let's say that the users are $45 each a month. Your bill is, you're actually paying $500 more a month or whatever that is. But you feel great about it. And I'm telling you guys, time and time again, you don't stop to think about this. But if you said to me, Matt, hey, I'm ready to do this deal. Can you give me, let's say 20% of the deal was 10 grand off. Can you give me 20%? Let's say it's a $100,000 deal. Can you give me, well, no, that would be a $50,000 deal. Let's say it's a $50,000 deal. You wanted 20% off when you first called. Oh yeah, no problem. I'll write it up, 10 grand off. What's Phil gonna feel like? He's gonna feel not so great. He's gonna be like, oh my God, I just spent $30,000 on software. Are other people paying 300 bucks for this? The dude just took 20K off the price like that. Maybe I made a bad decision, which is why the minute you guys start to discount, you start to get all kinds of funky emails. Hey, wait, we got to run this by legal one more time. Forgot to tell you this needs board approval. Or they ghost you. It's because you freaked them out. Hey, Matt, can you give me 20% off? We discussed the pricing 6 weeks ago. What's changed? Which is why I want you guys to give them the pricing early and often. This old school way of like holding back your price until you negotiate ain't good in today's world. You want them to sit with that price and realize that's what it costs. Because if somebody can't afford to buy what you are selling, probably good for you to figure that out early before you go through 17 demos. No, I've had the price. We knew that. And they always say the same thing. And it's weird. Phil and I didn't practice this, but they sound exactly like Phil. Now it's time to close the deal. I'm ready to go. And I just need a discount. Hey, I get it. You got to lower the price. Okay. Notice what I'm changing discount to lower the price. You got to lower the price. Is there anything in the recommendation you want to remove? Nope. Need it exactly the way it is. Wish we could have that SKU transfer module, but we're not really going to need that till next year. We'll add that next year when the new warehouse comes online. But no, I need this exactly the way it is. We go back to eastonuniversity.com and your course on monetization of your deals. Hopefully I've had a conversation with Phil. Hey, what's it costing you guys to run the warehouse right now? It's costing us $63,000. Got it. If we could automate these processes, what would that save you a month? If we could, well, just in payroll alone, that's going to save me $9,350 because that's one less headcount. I have a person that just goes and manually scans this stuff. That's all they do, right? I actually have 3 of those people. It costs me $9,350 a month. Hopefully I've had that conversation earlier, to which then when we get down to negotiation, I can go, Phil, you got the people with the hand scanners right now scanning all the items as they come into the warehouse. And then notice what I'm saying, based on what you estimated, not what I estimated, because guess what? My estimation is probably like $20,000 a month in savings because I'm an expert at my own products, solutions, and services. There's a ton of value there that Phil's not seeing. But I'm not going to bring that up right now because I want it to be real world. Right? Phil, you had said we can save $9,350 right now in payroll. Does it make sense to get started? So you can grab that savings this month. And usually they say the same thing. Phil said, I get it. I'm with you. I understand. It's 50 G's worth of software. I realize that if a month goes by, I'm going to miss out on 10. But come on. Can you guys do something special for me? We're not Amazon. We're local. We're trying to compete with Bezos. Can you just give me a break? Listen, I get it. As a small business owner myself, I understand. Phil, I've been out here 3 times. I like you. I like Bernie. I love Sandra. I love the team. I want to be a part of this team, right? I want to be on board. I want to do something special for you. I hear what you're saying. Here's what I could do. I think I might be able to do something special for you. But I'm going to need you to do something for me as well. We had talked about those 10 users. Right? Is there any way you can add the 10 users now? Well, yeah, if you can get me a better price. Here's what I can do. I can get you the SKU transfer module. I'll cover the costs on that on my end. That's a much more articulate conversation. Now notice I had a backup get. I'm still going to give Phil the SKU transfer module, but what if Phil was like, nope, can't add those 10 users. There's no way I can add those 10 users right now. We don't need them. We haven't hired those people yet. Totally understand. How about this? Can you extend your maintenance agreement for an additional year? Right? It's a 12-month contract on the maintenance agreement. Can you go 24 months? I mean, you guys are planning on doing this long term anyways. We'll change it. It actually brings your cost a little bit down on your monthly maintenance if you commit to 2 years. Could you guys commit to 2 years on your maintenance? I think that might be something we could do. What did you have in mind that you're going to do for me? I'll throw in the SKU transfer module, right? Well, we had talked about that $6,340. And then you guys have to be comfortable to sit with that. I'm telling you, Phil is going to be happier. I'm going to be happier. Your customer is going to be a lot happier if you guys just stop giving away money. Because at the end of the day, they don't want money. They want to feel like they got the best deal. They want to feel like they negotiated. They want to feel like they're working with a partner that understands them. And when you start giving away money, it erodes all of that. What questions can I answer for you guys when it comes to price reduction responses? Hit me.
Hey, Matt, this is Ray. A lot of good takeaways there, so I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, as you were going through that, the one thing that I kept thinking about was, man, this is such a psychology dance. And I love that, right? That's really what it's about. I also kind of like to flip it on its head and think about, man, you know, one of the strong potentials that are coming across when a discount is requested, I've just moved closer to closing this deal.
Correct, yeah.
You know? So just some quick feedback on what you were saying. I really enjoyed it. And
my pleasure. And I love what you said about how that's a good thing, right? When somebody complains about our price, that's a good thing. But how we handle it is going to dictate. We are closer to closing it, but how we handle it is going to dictate whether or not we actually do close it. Because if the customer says, hey, can you give me $1,000 off, right? And we are now, man, they're asking for something, right, where I'm closer. But if I say yes, they're probably not going to buy. And I don't know how long you guys have been in the game, but if you've been in the game at any amount of time, this has happened to you 100 times, 500 times, 1,000. This has happened to me thousands of times because it takes me a long time to learn things, right? Hey, can you give me $500 off? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, great. Let me talk with Ray, my partner, on that, and we'll get back to you. It's like, whoa, wait. And then the intermediary road was like, well, if I could do that, would you buy now? To which customers do what? By the way, that's that old school training that doesn't work. Yeah, sure, Susan. If I could give you $500 off, would you buy right now? Absolutely, I would. Susan lies. Okay, great. I can give you $500 off. Perfect. Next step, I just need to run this by my partner. Right? It's very rare that they'll actually commit to that. And if they do, there's a ton of buyer's remorse that comes with that. Right? So we just need to slow down. You are close. Nobody's going to hang up the phone on you. Nobody's going to be like, okay, well, that's all I wanted was the best price. And if that's the case, that person probably wasn't going to buy from you anyways. That person is probably just shopping you around. Let me give you an example. We're doing some upgrades in our Denver home. Don't want to say anything bad about this company, but they're great. The guy was great, Gustavo. He came in. We wanted this whole area in our living room tiled. We wanted a shower redone in our bathroom. He just sent me the quote last night. It was a high number, right? But the number was within what I wanted to pay, but I just sent him back and I'm like, listen, if you can take $2,500 off on this, we'll pull the trigger right now. To which he responded to my email, yeah, absolutely, I will. And I'm a man of my word, so I'm going to hire them. But I'm not as happy as I would have been if Gustavo was like, hey, I get it, right? What do you want to remove from the quote? Well, nothing. You know, I want the tile the way it was, and I need that Italian stuff. Looked great, right? I got it. You know, we had talked about and he didn't in the beginning. He should have, right? He should have given me the quote a lot earlier. But let's say he did. And we've talked about the pricing on this for 3 weeks. What's changed? Nothing. We're ready to go. Listen, I want to do something special for you guys. You had mentioned you got the shower, you've got the thing. There was another thing with that guest room shower that you guys wanted to do. Is there any way if I could do something special for you that you could add the glass on that guest room shower? Sure, Gustavo, depends on what it is. Listen, if you can throw in the glass on the, we'll do the glass part of this workload. What I'd like to do is I'd like to upgrade that tile that you wanted in the master bedroom that was more expensive. I'll cover the cost on the upgrade on that. Fair enough? That sounds pretty good, right? How much was the shower glass? $800. Yeah, throw the shower glass in there. Let's rock. Right? You have a much more solid customer when it's a quid pro quo. Can I have $50 off? Yes, you can, is not a quid pro quo. That's a take. And everybody that takes wonders, could I have taken more? Should I have kept taking more? And again, at the beginning of this call, we talked about this. They never refer business your way because they don't want to be reminded that they could have got a better deal, because that's how it always happens. Because your friend comes in and goes, hey, you gave Phil 20% off. We want what Phil has, but we need it at 25% off, right? Or can you match the deal that you gave Phil? Phil's no longer a hero with this discount, right? So slow down on the pricing. Are there any other, we got a few minutes, are there any other questions on anything, on price reductions, on anything that I can answer for you right now? I'm hoping this was helpful for you. I hope you enjoyed this clip, and I hope we see you over at eastonuniversity.com soon. In the meantime, while you're here, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be dropping knowledge on you on a daily basis.